Hey, what's up everybody? This is Titan with Titans of CNC, and today I'm going to teach you how to program the Titan-139M. This is an exciting day because it's the first time where we're actually teaching you on a 5-axis machine. So this is kind of 3 plus 2, right? So I want you to get the axes. I want you to be able to look at it, flip it down, flip it around, and actually rotate it and come up. So we're not doing full simultaneous yet. We're going to index it. So you're looking at it, you're dropping it down, indexing, indexing, indexing. We're doing 5 sides at once. And we're only going to hit the offset. So you know how like on a regular part with a G54, and that's a 3-axis, so Z, X, Y, and you have your G54 right there. We're basically doing exactly the same thing, but it's called dynamic offsetting. So the computer is so smart on the machine that once I set my 0, basically I can flip the part down, I can rotate it, right? I can rotate it, and it knows exactly where it's at, because each time I rotate it, I just say, this is the top, this is the top, and this is still X. And I just keep telling it where it's at. And then when it posts the code, it actually posts the code, and basically you just put the code in and it actually rotates exactly like in the cam, okay? So exactly what I do now, the machine's gonna copy, right? I have to understand the mechanics of the machine though, because I understand that my part rotates this way. On a UMC, like it doesn't rotate that much that way, it rotates this way. So when I'm here, I'm gonna actually rotate exactly how I want it to rotate in the machine. I'm gonna flip it exactly how I wanna flip it in the machine, okay? I can talk about it, but let's just do it, okay? So first thing we're gonna do right here is we're gonna do a setup like anything else, okay? So I'm gonna come up, I'm gonna actually set it up, I'm gonna come over, I'm going to say model orientation. I'm going to say Z and X. I'm going to hit Z. This is my surface. Hit that bad boy right there. Now X is already in the right direction. Y is in the right direction. So I'm good with that, okay? So I'm just going to leave that alone. Actually, you know what? Maybe I'll just touch it, okay? So I'll say, okay, that's X right there. That's good. I'll flip this guy back around. And then I'm going to come back over here. I'm going to go model, box point, boom. It is absolutely in position already, so I'm already good. See that? Okay, so there's my X, Y, Z. That's where it's going to stay all the time. And then when I flip it to do something else, I'm just going to tell it where the Z surface is changing. All right, so let me go back here. Now we're going to add the material. The material now is 3-inch diameter. So on a lot of 5-axis parts, a lot of people, they'll grab things with collets and grab them with chucks or 5-axis fixtures or something. So you can do square material, of course. On this one though, we actually designed it out of round material. All right, and then we just pre-cut it for the bottom so we can grab it with that dovetail, okay? So I'm gonna come over here to stock. We're gonna go to relative size cylinder, boom, all right? It automatically puts the cylinder on there, okay? So now I'm gonna say radial. I'm looking at this diameter right here, right? And I'm almost there. And you have a little bit of extra material right here, right? A little bit of extra material right here, boom, boom. And when thinking about like how much material that actually is, this is a 25,000 chamfer per the print, right? And so I can see that's 25. So I just have like another, if it's right there, I just have a little bit more, okay? So I'm actually going to go 0.050. Boom, and I'm pretty much right there. I'm actually gonna go over, so see right there? So I just went over 3 inches right there, so my material is absolutely Perfect, all right? So on my front of it, I'm actually, when you flip it here, you can double check where your front is. If I put 0.05, you can see it go right there. Like, I'll change it. I'll go 0.5. See how it just did that? All right, so I know I'm in the right place. So I'm just gonna say 0.5. You know, whether you have 5 or 100 thousandths, it doesn't matter too much. Actually, it matters because we're not gonna do a roughing pass. We're just gonna come back and clean it, okay? So on the back side, I'm gonna give myself a lot of material. So I'm gonna actually go 1 inch back here because this is where I'm holding the part, and I wanna make sure that I have some clearance from the jaws that are holding it, so when I come down from the side, I don't hit anything, all right? So that all looks good. I like it. I'm gonna okay it. Boom. That's our setup right there. Looks beautiful. Okay, so what's the first thing that we're gonna do? Just like any other part, we're gonna actually use a 3-inch steel ram, Kennametal steel ram. We're gonna just space it right across. We know that right here, this diameter right here is 3 inches, and the part is literally only 2 inches, 75 thousandths. So all we got to do is just come right across it, okay? So I'm going to come up here. I'm going to go 2D. I'm going to say face. I'm going to go select. I'm going to come down over here, and I'm going to go into my building blocks, tool list. I'm going to drop down. I'm going to grab my steel ram right there. I'm going to hit OK. Now we're on 5 axis. So before I was like going really slow and stuff, but I'm going a little bit faster, okay? So I'm actually going to run it, say 8,000, okay? So I'm going to go 8,000 RPMs. Boom. I'm going to say 60 inches a minute. Boom. All right. 60, 60, 60. I'm going to say 200 right here. Boom, boom, all the way down. I'm going to come up here. I'm going to hit this guy, and it's telling me nothing because it knows this, but I'm actually going to change it because it's a 3-inch, and I don't want the 3-inch to come over here and come down and come across, trying to face all this material. So I'm going to actually just grab this guy right here, maybe the outside, and I'm going to say that's what I'm facing, all right? And then that'll be good. So then I'm going to come over here, and I'm going to say model top, we're good. Model top, we're good. Model top, 0 and 0. That all looks good. Because we're a 5 axis, you know, I think I want to practice getting away from the material a little bit. Okay, so let's actually, on this guy on the clearance, let's go to 1 inch on like these two right here, just to make sure that we keep away from the material. Okay, so, and we'll leave these alone. So I'm going to come back over here. I'm going to say that all looks good, but past extension, we have like 1/2 inch material over here and 1/2 inch material over here, right? So I'm going to actually go say 2.1. Actually, I'm going to come back over here. I'm going to turn these guys off. I'm going to turn this off. Okay. And I'm going to say okay. Boom. All right. So if I turn my material on, like right here, and look at it, actually, let me actually just double check it. So I'm gonna drop down. I'm gonna simulate it. I'm gonna say okay. Boom. Now I can see I clearly come off the material. All right. It leaves this a little bit, but it's only 50 thousandths, right? So see that little bit of stock right there? I'm not even gonna worry about it. All right. And we're beautiful. One thing I'll say is I'm just weird. I'm just weird like that. That is no problem, but I just like to start left to right. It's just what I like to do, okay? So I'm actually gonna come back in here. I'm gonna edit this guy. Boom. I'm gonna come back over here. Right here, it says degrees, pass. I'm gonna actually say 180. Boom. Then I'm going to say okay. All right, so the first pass is finished. It's going to drop down, come across, lift up, boom. Okay. I'm looking down at the spindle right here, straight down. Now I'm going to rotate this way. Rotate to my left. I'm going to come down. I'm going to drop down 90 degrees. Boom. Okay. Now, this face mill, if I just face it, it's going to center itself on this part. Okay. So I'm going to do something just a little bit different. I want to tell it exactly where to go and how to do it. If I hit face mill, it's going to center it, right? So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to use a contour, and I'm going to contour it, all right? But to contour it, I have to prepare it, okay? So the first thing I'm going to do, because I'm on this side and I'm going to be flipping on this side, I'm going to actually sketch a line right here, okay? So I'm here, I'm flipping down. I'm just going to come up here. I'm going to go back to model. Okay. Now I'm just going to hit L for line. Boom. I'm going to hit this surface right here. Boom. Okay. I'm going to actually double check, make sure I know where I'm at, right? So I looked, that's where I'm at. So my line's going to be right here. Okay. So I'm just going to hit this guy again. Boom. Now I'm just going to come over here and I'm just going to stretch a line right there. Okay. Now I'm going to hit D for dimension. And then I'm going to take this guy here, this one, to this guy. And since I have a 3-inch face mill and I want to have it come across the part, that would be 1.5 would be the edge. I have a little bit extra material, so I'm just going to, just to be safe, 1.8. Okay? And I'm just going to enter it. Boom. I'm already in D right here, so I'm going to hit this guy right here. Boom. I'm going to hit this guy. Boom. I'm going to come over here. I'm going to say 1.8. Enter. Boom. All right? Now, I'm going to hit this guy. My tool is right here and it's facing across, okay? So I actually want this to be 200 thousandths right here. So I'm gonna hit here and then I'm gonna hit here. I'm gonna stretch it. I'm gonna say 0.2, all right? And I'm gonna enter it. Now, what did I do? I created a line to contour. So I, as the machinist, am dictating how I actually want to machine this part. So I'm going to contour here across with a 3-inch. That means it's going to go on this line. Half the diameter is 1.5. So since there's 2 here, the center of my tool will be 1.3. Got it? 200 plus 1.3 is 1.5. So that's going to put it like right here. I don't know if you're following on that, but basically I'm just telling it exactly where I want my tool to go. And when I simulate it, you guys will get what I'm talking about. Okay. So 200 thousandths right here, 1.8, 1.8 clearance. Everything looks good. And then I'm going to actually come over here now. And I'm going to do a line on this surface also. So I'm going to repeat the process, okay? So I'm going to say stop sketch. I'm going to come up here. I'm going to actually just hit line again, L, boom. I'm going to actually hit this guy, boom. Now I'm coming right across here, okay? So I'm going to come back here. I'm going to go boom. I'm going to actually come down here, boom. All right. Now I'm going to hit D for dimension. I'm going to hit this guy right here. Boom. To here. Boom. To there. 1.8. Enter. Then I'm going to hit this guy over here. Boom. To here. Boom. 1.8. Enter. Then I'm going to hit this guy right here. Boom. To boom. It's already at 200 because it saw this over here. All right, so I'm just gonna hit OK. Boom, right there. And that looks perfect. So now I'm gonna hit stop sketch. I'm going to come back up here. I'm going to hit cam. All right, this is red right here, right? Because I went out and I came back in. So all I have to do is right click over here. I have to say generate toolpath. Boom. And it fixes itself. All right. Now check this out. I got these two lines right here. Boom. Why did I only do 2 lines and I didn't do lines all the way over here? The reason is because I can use the same line. It just doesn't even matter. So when I'm here, I can actually use this line. I'm just going to say this is my surface. And when I flip over here, I'm going to use the same line because they're perfect to each other. Okay, this side, I just have to say what my Z surface is. That's just something really cool about working with solid models and working with Fusion 360. Makes it super easy. All right, so now I'm here. I'm flipping down here. So I'm going to come up here. I'm going to go 2D contour. Boom. Now it already has my speeds and feeds right here. I'm just going to leave it alone. Okay. I'm going to come up here. Boom. This section is the most important section right here. It's the difference between 3-axis and 5-axis or 3+2, right? Because now I'm going to select the line here. Boom. I'm going in the right direction, right? But you can see this is over here. That's kind of weird. So what do I have to do? I drop all the way down, tool orientation. That is the bad boy. That is what is going to set the machine in dynamic offsetting so the machine knows where to go. Okay, so see this over here? You have to change this because now we're up here in X. Okay, so I'm going to hit this guy right here. And then I'm going to hit this guy. Boom. And it just changed. Okay, now X is still the same. X is going this way, Y is going that way, right? So I flip down, the 0 is still right there. X is positive that way, Y is positive, so it knows right where it's at. And when it posts, it's going to be perfect. All right, so now I'm going to come up here, click this guy. Now, we know that we have just less than 500 thousandths of material right here. So I'm going to actually do something. And I'm going to come up here. I'm going to do 1 inch. I'm going to do 1 inch. Now right here, I'm going to actually change this, right? So I'm going to go I'm going to say 0.7 right here, feeding. Model top, I'm going to say 0.5 for that material. Then I'm going to keep this at 0. It's going to actually make the cuts right here. Okay, so I'm going to come over here. I'm going to leave it left in computer. I'm just going to leave it at 60 right there. I'm going to come down. I'm going to hit multiple depths. Boom. Maximum roughing. I'm going to go 0.1. I'm going to hit this guy right here. Finish step downs 1. Finish step down 0.005. And then I'm going to come up here. It says repeat finish, finish feed rate, multiple finish passes. I'm going to leave all that alone. I'm doing a finish pass right here. I'm going to come up here. I'm dropping down outside the material. I'm dropping outside the material. So all this doesn't even matter too much. So I'm just going to say, okay, I'm going to hit that guy. I'm going to hit that guy. I'm going to hit this guy. Boom. Check it out. So my feed rate is nice and slow. If I was actually doing this as a real part, I would speed these guys up. I'd have everything going fast, like a couple 100 inches a minute or even more. And then on my finish, I would have went just slow over here, but I'm just leaving it all at 60 inches a minute. All right. So that looks beautiful right there. You guys want to see it? Okay, let's come over here. Let's come up here. I'm going to drop down. I'm going to simulate. I'm going to hit OK. You can see it going. Boom. 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 Looks perfect. Let's take my time. Now, I made that line. See how the tool is offset? See that? It's offset to the side. It's 200 thousandths right here because I know my vise is over here and I want to keep my tool away from my vise, and it has a 30 thousandths little corner radius right there. So basically I determined as a programmer that I wanted to keep it 200 thousandths off the part, and you can see this huge amount over here. So over here is 200 thousandths, but over here there's a big gap over here. All right, so it's doing exactly what I wanted to do. And you see the tool path is offset off center. Okay, so that looks perfect. Now we just need to duplicate it. All right, and how I do it right now matters. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to close this. I'm going to right click here. I need to do it 3 more times. Okay, so I'm going to hit duplicate. Boom. I'm going to right click again. I'm going to say duplicate. Boom. Now I'm going to right click again. I'm going to say duplicate. Boom. So they're all doing the same thing, but now which way do I want to rotate? So I think I'm going to actually rotate this way. Okay. So we're here. We're here. I'm going to flip this way. That's my next one. Okay. So second one, I'm going to right click, I'm going to edit. Now watch this. I'm going to come over here. Boom. Now I'm going to X out here. I'm going to pick this guy right here. Now that's Z surface, but look, my Y's off. So then on my X, I'm going to hit this guy. Come in, show you guys. I'm going to hit this guy. Boom. Now X is in the positive direction. All right, makes sense? Now this looks good, that looks good, that looks good, everything looks good. Now I'm going to click this guy. So here, I'm going to click this one. Boom. It knows where it's at. I click that guy right there. Now I'm going to come over here. It's all exactly the same, so I'm just going to hit OK. Boom. And it does it. Now, the next one has to be this one. Boom. So I'm actually going to edit this. Okay. I'm going to come in here. Boom. I'm going to get rid of this. I'm going to hit this. All right. I'm going to get rid of this. I'm going to actually hit this. And it's opposite. So I'm going to click this little arrow right here. Boom. Now I'm going to OK it. Now it's going to do it. Okay, so let me just double check it. So it goes from here to here to here. Now I want this side. So I'm just going to change it here. Edit. Okay. Come back over here. Now my chain has to be here. Now my face needs to be here. This is in the wrong direction, so I'm going to actually X. I'm going to come over here. Boom. Double check this. X is correct. Z is correct. Y is correct. All right. And I'm going to change this guy right here. Click this guy. Boom. Boom. Now I'm going to click this guy. Boom. All right, so now let's look at it this way. Face, boom, 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 boom. See it? And that is perfect. All right, so one tool, our face mill, just rocked it all the way around. Guess what? We're only doing 2 tools. All right, so I'm going to show you that tool real quick. So we're going to right click it. I'm going to drop down. I'm going to simulate. Boom. Say OK. I'm going to look at my material. I'm going to actually get rid of transparent. I'll speed it up. Just making sure that everything looks good. All right, so that's how our part looks right now. Okay, pretty cool, pretty awesome. All right, so now I'm going to actually close this out. All right, so the part looks absolutely perfect. We walked all the way around it. Our first tool was a Kennametal steel ram, a beast of a tool, and it basically just cleaned everything up around it. Now we're gonna do the intricate work. We're gonna actually do the engraving and the chamfers. And when we do the chamfers, I'm gonna teach you something pretty cool. So on the first tool, I literally showed you how to keep changing your Z so that it always knows where the spindle is, right? And it's just gonna keep orientating itself, meaning the trunnion, the 5-axis trunnion is going to move depending on where you say the Z is. So on the next tool, I'm gonna do something cool. All right, so I'm gonna teach you a high-end cool little trick. So we're going to engrave it. We're gonna chamfer around here, right? That's gonna be step 1. Then we're gonna flip it on its side. We're gonna chamfer just here, and then we're gonna engrave here, and then we're gonna copy and basically do it 4 times, going around the outside of the part, finishing the part in record time, fast and efficient, because that's the name of the game. All right, so all right, enough talk. Talk is over. Let's get to some action. So the very next thing we're gonna do right here is we're going to engrave this guy right here. So I'm gonna actually double check something, boom, boom. All right, so I'm gonna actually come up here. I like to turn things off and on to double check tool paths and stuff, and that's why I kind of dropped it down, but you'll see how I do it in a little bit. Okay, so first thing I'm gonna do right now is I'm gonna come up, I'm gonna go to trace. So I'm gonna hit trace, I'm gonna come up here, I'm gonna go to Titan building blocks, go off the Titan building block kit, right? The Academy kit. And when I come up here, I see a 1/4 inch chamfer. I'm gonna actually use that to engrave and chamfer. Same tool, multi-purpose. I'm gonna hit that bad boy. I'm gonna come up here to 9,000. Boom, boom, boom. It's gonna go nice and slow. I'm just gonna do 1 pass because I wanna make it nice and simple. You guys can double up your passes, do finish passes. You can speed up the roughing, slow it down. Engraving is, with this tool, is not something you want to speed through. So I'm just going to keep it nice and slow. Nice and slow. All right, so 9,000, boom, 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 all the way down. I'm going to come up here. We're going to select our text. Okay, so I'm going to get nice and close to make sure that I don't hit the bottom and I only hit the top. All right, so I'm going to come up here. I'm gonna hit this guy, boom, 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 boom. Oh, right there, all right. So then I'm gonna hit this guy. I'm gonna come in, zoom in, hit that guy, hit this guy. See how it's kind of like right there, you gotta be careful. So just get in there, boom, boom. All right, so I got all my lines, I got my circles. You wanna just double check and make sure that you have absolutely everything done. All right, so now everything's good. I'm gonna go to tool orientation. All right, automatically I can see that my Z is off, so then I just hit Z, boom, right there. Y is perfect, X is perfect, everything looks good. I'm gonna come over here, just gonna go 1 inch, 0.1, and then right here, I'm gonna actually say 0, model top, this has to be model top. Right here, I'm gonna go model top. So 1.10, I'm gonna actually come over here, okay? And I'm gonna drop down, boom, center, center, axial depth. I'm tracing, so I actually wanna drop axial, my Z, down into the part. So I'm going negative 0.010, okay? I'm gonna get rid of my chamfer because it doesn't matter. Boom, these all look good. I'm gonna okay it. All right, so that looks good to me, but I have to double check and make sure everything's good. So watch, I'm gonna come over here. I'm gonna actually turn this off and I can see it, okay? So I read it, Titans of CNC. Looks good. Turn it back on. Boom. Nice. Nice. Looks really good. Okay, so next thing we're going to do is we're going to actually chamfer around the outside. Okay, so I'm going to come up here. I'm going to actually do the same thing, but I'm going to drop all the way down to 2D chamfer. I'm going to stay with the same tool, basically the same RPMs. Click this, 30, 30. This is very slow, all right, but it's okay. So I'm not doing a finish pass on this, so you guys can actually run this at, 100, 200 inches a minute, come back at maybe 50 and just do a finish pass on the chamfer. I'm just going to do 30 and it will be good. All right. On this guy, I'm just going to speed this guy up. So 100. All right. So now I come back up here. We're already where we want to be as far as tool orientation goes. I'm going to hit this guy right here to actually contour that. Boom. I'm on the inside of the chamfer. Okay. I'm going to come up here. I'm going to go 4 inches. Then retract height. I'm going to actually come up to, say, 0.2. Feed height, 0.1. Monotop, 0. And then keep this at 0. I'm going to come back over here now. And I'm going to just tab down. Boom. Chamfer width. I'm actually going to say 0 because I'm on the inside of the line. So if I say 0, it'll go off the inside, and because it's at a 45, it'll automatically just drop down. Boom, right there. Okay, so you guys will see it. So as far as the tool tip coming off the edge, because I'm inside 25, I'm actually going to make this 0.075, and then clearance, there's nothing to clear, so I'm okay there. Now over here, as I drop down, I'm going to actually do a, say, 0.1 right there. 45 is good. That's good. This one I don't even need, so I'm going to turn that guy off. Doesn't matter. Boom, boom. And I'm just going to say okay. Boom. All right, so I like starting on corners. I do not like starting over here, okay? Because you can leave a line. Even though I'm coming in at a radius and coming out radially, I might have a little line right there. So just make it beautiful, and to hide it, I'm gonna actually come back in here. I'm gonna right click it. I'm gonna say edit. I'm gonna come back over here to the last one. It says entry position. I'm looking right here, right? So I'm gonna say entry position is like literally right here. Boom. And then I'm gonna say okay. And now look, it basically comes right in, right there. Boom, comes around right on the corner. All right, so that will work. All right, so now that I have this top and I have this guy, now we're coming to one of the cool things that we're gonna do. All right, so first thing I gotta do is flip it this way and use the same tool. All right, so now when I look at all my chamfers, I'm doing this side, I'm doing this side, I'm doing this side, I'm doing this side, and basically I'm chamfering this. There's stock material down here, right? And we have that 200,000 scap, so I don't have to worry about these guys right now. All right, if I wanted to, I could undercut and I could do them, but that's not my intention. So I just have to basically hit this guy, right? So first thing I'm going to do is I'm just going to chamfer this edge right here. Boom, just one time. And then I'm going to engrave the eagle. So first thing I'm going to do is chamfer this guy. So I'm going to come back up here, drop down. I could have copied it, or duplicated it, but I'm just going to grab that guy. Got everything dialed in right here. I'm going to come over here. I'm going to actually hit this line right here. Boom. And I can see that my tool orientation is off. So I'm going to come over here. I'm going to say that my Z surface is here. And then all of a sudden I'm going to look over here. Y is right where I want it. X is right where I want it. And Y, all that is perfect. Okay, so now all I want is this surface, so I'm just going to hit this one more time. Boom. All right, so now I'm going to come back up here, contour selection. I'm going to go back. I'm going to hit this guy right here. I'm going to hit it one more time. Boom. Okay, now I want to break the chain, so I'm going to come over here. I'm going to break it. I'm going to open up that contour, and I'm going to look at it, and it's exactly what I want. So I'm going to OK that. All right, so I'm going to say OK. All right, now I'm going to come up here. I'm going to actually hit this guy. Boom. And now it's going in the right direction. So that looks good. This guy right here looks good. Now I'm going to pop back up here. I'm flipping around, so I'm actually going to raise this guy. So I'm going to go 4 inches. I'm going to drop down. Boom. Retract height. I'm going to say 4 inches. Feed height, I'm going to say 0.1. That's fine. I'm going to go 0 right here. And I'm going to go 0 right here. Okay. So then I'm going to come over here. I'm going to come down. This guy is already going to be at 0. I'm going to put 0.75 just like the other one. And we're looking good. So now when you look at this distance right here, and you look at this distance, I actually want to overhang it just a little bit. There's a lot of material right here, like 200 thousandths off, right? We have that little gap, so I got to be very careful, okay? So I'm going to do something a little different, and I'm going to go back over here and see this extension. I know that this is 25,000, so I'm just going to go 0.035. And that's going to actually extend me by that much, by 35 on both sides. Okay, so I went back, popped that guy in. If you look at that picture, watch, you can actually see it down here actually extending. So now I'm going to actually go over here. I'm going to say no 0 right here. I'm going to say 90 right here. And I'm going to say 0.075 here. Boom, boom. So that looks good. I'm gonna say okay. All right, so that's my toolpath right there. It drops down and it just walks right in. All right, so I know my speeds and feeds are correct. And if you look at it, you can see that it's 35 thousandths that it extended it right there. See it right there? Boom. Okay, so now I got that guy right there. So that's this one. Now I'm going to go back and I'm going to actually trace this guy. So I'm going to actually come back up. I could duplicate, but I'm just going to come back up. I'm going to come down to trace. Boom. And then I'm going to come over here. I'm at 9,000. I'm at 30. I'm just going to leave it alone. I'm going to leave it alone, leave it alone. I'm going to come down over here. I'm just going to go 20s just so I go nice and slow right into right there. I'm going to come back actually up here. Boom. And I'm going to select this guy. Make sure I'm on the top. I'm going to select this guy. All right. And then I'm going to do my tool orientation. I'm going to back up. I'm going to double check my tool orientation. So now it's asking me for Z, so I'm going to hit Z here. And then my Y is there, my X is here, my Z is up here. So that looks good. All right. This is like one of the most important things. You just got to always keep looking right here and making sure that you're orientated correctly. All right. So now we're going to come back up over here. Clearance height, I'm going to go 4 inches. Model top. I'm going to go over here. I'm going to go model top. I'm going to go 0.1. Then I'm going to come down here. I'm going to go model top. We're going to keep it at Z0. Okay. Then we're going to come up here. We're going to actually drop down. Boom. Center. Center. Axial. How deep do we want to go? We're actually going to go 10 thousandths right here. I'm going to drop it down. Boom, boom, boom. Drop it down. Everything looks good. Now I'm going to actually come up here. Boom. Everything looks good. I'm going to say OK. And check it out. So you can see it right around there. Everything looks good. I can actually come up here, turn the body off, turn it off, turn it on. Beautiful. All right. So now I got this guy and I got this guy. And I told you guys we're going to do something pretty trick, right? So check this out. So I just did it one time here. I did it one time here. You guys have seen me duplicate different cutting paths, right? Contours and different things where we've duplicated it, went in, edited it, and actually saved a bunch of time. So right now we're going to do something very similar because this, and this is all these eagles, all these sides are 100% perfect and exact. So now I'm going to actually hit Control and I'm actually clicking this guy also. Now I'm going to let go. I got both of them clicked right here, right? Now my mouse, I'm going to right click. I'm going to actually come up and see this right here. Boom. Add new pattern. I'm going to hit this guy. I'm going to come up. Okay, so my zeros here, I'm going in a circular pattern. So I'm going to actually come up here, drop down circular. Now your axis that you're rotating on. So this guy is going in a circle. Your axis, I come in. See this guy right here? That green, that's what I want. So I'm going to actually push away. It's going to get bigger. See that? So I'm going to click that. Boom. See that? Now you got it. Okay? So make sure that that's perfect for my rotation. 300. How many times? I want to do it 4 times. Boom. 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 I'm going to actually just do preserve order, just like that guy. And I'm going to come down. I'm going to OK it. Oh, and look, both of them turned into one. So there was 2 tool paths. Now it's just this one pattern. And if I click on it and I actually get rid of my body up here, boom, you can see, boom, 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 boom. And you can see all of the eagles. See that? Woohoo! Trick right there, right? So I just saved some time. So now my tree, all my cutting paths and stuff is not that long because I did some duplicates, right? So especially right there. All right, so I'm going to come back up here. I'm going to turn this guy back on. Now I'm going to come over here. I'm going to turn that guy on. I'm going to right click. I'm going to drop down and simulate it. Boom. I'm going to speed it up. Looking good, looking good, looking good. Facing it. You got to take the time to simulate it. You got to watch your tool. You got to make sure that everything is absolutely perfect. All right? Double check it. I'm going to slow it down. I'm going to slow it down. I'm going to slow it down over here because I want to watch it. So I'm going to OK it. See it coming down right now? It's coming down nice and slow. I'm going to stop it. I'm going to come in. I'm going to look at my tool, right? I'm going to look at my material and I'm going to see where it touches. And I'm just going to hit this guy. Boom. Now let me speed it up. It's going around. Oh, check it out. Boom. Looks beautiful, looks perfect. There's a lot of different lines going on, but that is exactly what I wanted. All right. One thing that I noticed was when I was actually coming across and cutting all these guys, just because of safety reasons and because it's just a smart thing to do, you got to have a lot of clearance here. You got to make sure you got a lot of clearance. So let me go back and see what I did. So I'm going to close this out. I'm going to come over here. Actually, I'm going to come here first. I'm going to actually come into edit. I'm going to come back over here because it's extremely important. Okay. On my clearance height for model, I'm going to say 5 inches. Depending on your guys's trunnion or your 5-axis, you know, you guys do what you guys want to do, but make sure that you get out of there before you rotate. Okay, get up and away from your part. Okay, so I'm just going to okay that guy. Now I'm going to come over here and I'm going to actually right click here. I'm going to edit this guy and I'm just going to go through each one. So I'm going to come over here. I'm going to go 5 point. Okay. Boom. All right. Now I'm going to come back over here. Same thing. I'm just going to go right through it. 5 point on all these 4 right here. Come back over here. 5 point. Okay. Come over here. Five point. Okay. Come over here. Five point. Okay. Boom. Looks good, huh? So now I'm going to come back up here because I made changes. I'll come back up here. I'm going to look at it. I'm going to drop down. I'm going to simulate it. Say okay. So it's only raising it here to come back over here, but when it rotates, it will raise all the way up. Boom, see that? So it's coming over here, that's like 1 inch, coming down, but before it rotates, it comes all the way up. All right, so that's just a safety feature, and I want to make sure that we do not take any chances with this part. All right, so I'm excited. Watching it. All right, boom. Look at that. Oh, love it, love it. So I'm going to close this guy out. We are 100% done. Right there, you have the Titan-139M. 5 axes, baby, 5 axes. We're taking you to greatness. Oh, check out the back. Boom, no more tiptoeing. It's time to run. We're rising to greatness in 2018. We're out. That's our first 5-axis tutorial. You guys got to make it happen now, all right? You guys take care of yourself. Boom.